Ahead of tomorrow's meeting with President Biden, Russian President Vladimir Putin backed the idea of a prisoner swap between the U.S. and Russia. The development serves as a reminder of the countless other individuals targeted and detained by foreign governments, which brings us to Danny Fenster. He's a 37-year-old American journalist who spent his early career telling the stories of the homeless in San Jose, California, and then reporting on families who had lost loved ones to gun violence in Louisiana. His career led him to Myanmar in 2019, where he reported on the country's abuses against Rohingya Muslims. Last month, Danny was detained at Yangon International Airport before boarding a flight back to the U.S. He's being held in a political prison in Yangon, notorious for its human rights abuses. Just yesterday, another U.S. journalist, Nathan Mong, was released also after being detained in Myanmar. Now Danny Fenster's family is hoping for a similar outcome, and they're calling on the Biden administration to take action. Joining me now is Bryan Fenster, Danny Fenster's brother. It's great to have you with us, Bryan. I know this must be an extremely difficult time for you. I want to thank you here for being here during this heartbreaking situation. First of all, tell us when you spoke last time to your brother, and what did he have to tell you about what he was seeing and doing?
Yeah, it must have been 3 or 4 days before his detainment. And he was always very good at keeping us up to date on what was happening in the country. There were a few times where the military would shut off internet and cellular services, and he would say, "You're going to read this in the headlines. We'll be just fine. I'll let you know when we're back online." And sure enough, he would.
I know that your family has been urging the Biden administration to intervene and bring Danny home. We have learned, NBC News has spoken to the White House about the matter, and we learned that the administration is, quote, deeply concerned about Fenster's detention, but did not say Biden would take any personal actions. Quote, "We have pressed the military regime to release him immediately and will continue to do so until he is allowed to return home safely to his family," per a National Security Council spokesman. Have you heard anything, Bryan, from anyone at the White House or anyone else about specific actions being taken to bring your brother home?
Well, I have to say, first and foremost, our government has been incredible locally here in Michigan, all the way up to the top. We've been assured it's been being worked on at the highest levels. And, it's certainly not a lack of effort of anyone in our government.
I know that Americans at home are probably learning of this story. They're going to want to help, as Americans normally do when they see one of their fellow countrymen overseas, certainly a journalist. Is there a way that they can help? What would you want to see from fellow Americans in terms of trying to assist the release of your brother? What can they do?
Well, we just really want his name to stay current in the news cycle. We're in week 4. We just started week 4, and it's amazing that we're still being able to talk to folks like yourself. So thank you. Keep saying his name, sharing the news. BringDannyHome.com is a website. Some neighbors of ours have started as kind of like a hub for his story and action items like linking out to our petition and getting a hold of elected officials, which is a tedious task, but it's really been going a long way for us.
It takes a certain type of journalist to want to go to Myanmar knowing everything that there is about it. But talk to me a little bit about your brother. What kind of person is he beyond the words that he wrote on paper that all of us got to read? Just tell me a little bit about what motivated him, what drove him to do what he does.
We hear this term privilege a lot, and it's used a lot. I apologize. But for him, it's really true. He checks his privilege every day. He's genuinely interested and people who are different from him, who live differently than he does. And that includes oppressed people. And he was very excited to be in Myanmar at a time when democracy, it's never really fully at its best, right? But he was excited to be there at a time when it was starting to open up and information was flowing, society was opening up. And it's been very heartbreaking, especially for these people there and obviously for our Danny.
Yeah, and it's as I mentioned, it takes a certain type of journalist with a lot of courage to go to a place like Myanmar, and we're all better off for being able to read his words and his reporting. Bryan Fenster, again, thank you so much. I know how difficult of a time this is for you and your family. Our best to all of you as you try to secure his release.
Thank you, Ayman. We appreciate you and your viewers listening to us. Thank you.
Thank you.